And we are live. You already know who it is. My name is Mike Kyle, aka the Fantasy Vulture. I have over a decade worth of fantasy football experience, and I've continuously competed for fantasy championships over the course of the past 6 seasons. Let's make it 7 in 2020, but enough of me. I'm here for you. On today's episode of the FB Show, we are continuing our Week 1 game previews, all through the lens of fantasy football. We are continuing with the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. So if you are excited for this game, be sure to hit that like button down below, like an open receiver downfield, Patrick Mahomes style. Also smash that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me, like a power running back up the middle. And last but not least, you can follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And the website is ffvulture.com. Alright, let's jump right into the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers, an NFC West game to start the season. Oh boy, this division is going to be so much fun this season. The over-under for this game is set at 47 points. And let's just go through some game notes, some storylines for this game, right? We get year 2 of the Cliff Kingsbury air raid system with the Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins, welcome to the NFC. Welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. And oh my goodness, what an addition that is going to be for Kyler Murray, who there's been some buzz. I don't know if you've heard it or not. The whispers, they're here. Kyler Murray, MVP 2020. Is it possible? Is it likely? I think there's a chance. I really, really do. So is Kyler Murray going to take that step forward? Is this offense going to take the intended step forward that everybody is projecting them to do, especially with the full year of Kenyan Drake being added to this team as well? Super Bowl regression coming for the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's highly likely considering the recent trend of what happens once a team makes a Super Bowl. Or should I say an unexpected team once they make the Super Bowl. Going back a few years to the Carolina Panthers and the regression that they had the following year. We saw it with the Eagles. We've seen it with the Falcons as well. It's just for whatever, the Rams specifically too. For whatever reason, once you climb the ladder all the way to the top and then you lose, the fall from grace has not been pretty. Also, some injury reports for this game. Deebo Samuel officially ruled out with that broken foot, and Brandon Ayuk was limited, and he was limited in practice on Friday with that hamstring injury. He is questionable for Sunday's game versus Arizona. Start sit for this game. Auto starts for Arizona. Kyler, you're starting. DeAndre Hopkins, you're starting. Kenyan Drake, you're starting. Anybody else is kind of just a fringe play. Maybe. Are you confident starting Christian Kirk against this 49ers defense? You're not starting Larry Fitzgerald most likely unless you are in a deep PPR league. And even still, there's no, you would prioritize Kirk in that situation anyway, just being the number 2 wide receiver in the system. And then with the 49ers, you're auto starting George Kittle and Raheem Mostert, pretty cut and dry there. Tevin Coleman, just something to note for you for the deeper leagues, and if you are starting Tevin Coleman because maybe you went 0 RB, Tevin Coleman may miss this game due to the air quality. I don't know the specifics, and maybe I should have admittedly looked into this a little bit more, but the air quality in San Francisco and just in Napa Valley right now is really poor just due to the mass wildfires that are there. Thoughts and prayers to everyone involved, and hopefully everyone is okay. And so Tevin Coleman may miss the game because of how smoke-filled? That's not the right word. We'll roll with it. Because of how smoke-filled the air is going to be there. And there's even some reports of them possibly moving the game to a different location. It is that bad. Some of the pictures coming out from the 49ers are really wild. Everything has this red tint to them, this orangey glow. All the pictures, it's really fucking crazy. So some more just storylines that I'm really interested to see from this game, especially early on in the season, is what does the target share look like between DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Larry Fitzgerald? Very simply put, DeAndre Hopkins is coming from a team of being the man, right? DeAndre Hopkins consistently had a 25% target share with the Houston Texans. So what does that look like now in a new offense and with Kyler Murray last year, who honestly spread the ball around all season long, and this is a team that uses those 4 and 3 wide receiver sets very, very often. They were second in the league in 3 wide receiver sets behind the Bengals, and I believe they led the league in 4 wide receiver sets last season. So this ball can only go to one person on any given play. And will it be DeAndre Hopkins the majority of the time? The answer is yes, obviously, because he is your number one option, but just how much, right? These are just some things that have to be navigated through the early parts of the football season. And then as far as San Francisco, just who the hell steps up for them in the pass catching game, right? This is why you literally aren't starting Jimmy G, who could have an incredible game, all things considered, if his receiving options were healthy. But besides George Kittle, Deebo Samuel out with that foot injury, Brandon Ayuk, the hamstring injury, which we just said, Jalen Hurts suffered a torn ACL. Is it Dante Pettis season, right? They lost, Kendrick Bourne season? There are I actually think Dante Pettis is out for the year too. I'm right. I'm right on that, right? Dante Pettis is out for the year. I'm pulling this up. But that's the point. If I'm naming Dante Pettis right now, where is it? Pull it up. So Dante Pettis is still on. Yes, Dante Pettis is still on the roster. Okay. But that's the point, right? If we are talking about starting Kendrick Bourne and Dante Pettis, that's a pretty good indicator of just how depleted this receiving core is right now. So that makes George Kittle the easy number one option. I mean, he's always the number one option week over week, but he's the clear-cut tight end 1 this week just because of there is a realistic possibility that George Kittle sees 15 targets. And that is not an exaggeration. He might see 15 targets, 10 receptions, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is such a realistic stat line, especially given how awful the Arizona Cardinals were at defending the tight end position last season. So start George Kittle. I mean, that's not a surprise, right? You were doing that anyway. But just to give you even more confidence in that George Kittle play, he's going to be an absolute beast this week against Arizona. I think that's it, though. You're starting Raheem Mostert, I think. And the reason why I say I think, again, based upon where you drafted him, he's probably your 3rd or 4th running back. And so with that being said, he might be your best flex option. If that is the case, you're going to play him there. And if maybe you decide to go with a wide receiver instead, who you value just a little bit more, it is very roster dependent, and that's why I do have him in that likely starting category, because Raheem Mostert is a very good NFL running back, and this Cardinals defense is susceptible for fantasy points. But I think that's actually going to do it for this Week 1 game preview. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. We're trying to do this for every single Week 1 game. I am now approaching a 3.5 hour recording session for these, so my voice is going. I hope you guys can't tell, but if you guys can, then shout out to you, because you guys have really good ears then at that point. Anyways, I'm going to get up out of here, but before I go, follow me on all social media platforms at FFVulture, and of course the website is ffvulture.com. Remember, people come and go, but fantasy championships are forever. I will see you in the next video.